Well, we got a good old-fashioned triple dipper here for you this week. We are joined by the Prince of Palatka, the newest Bassmaster Elite Series champion, Cliff Prince. We also have the ultimate Bassmaster behind-the-scenes show with Bassmaster videographer Jake Latondras, and Jake's taken as if that's not enough. The greatest to ever play the game joins us, the one and only Kevin VanDam, where he talks about being featured on the biggest sports show on earth, the Pat McAfee Show. All of it happens this week right here on...
I'm Bob Cobb from the Bassmaster. Welcome to Mercer.
Welcome one, welcome all, friends, family, freeloaders, fishing freaks, and of course my humpers. Happy hump day and welcome into the Awkwardly Honest Fishing Podcast that goes by my last name, which is Mercer. This is the 166th edition of the Mercer Podcast, and I hope wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing today, you're having a good day. It is a wonderful week, especially wonderful for me because I'm just happy to be out of the hot box that is Alabama. I love Alabama, but it is... Well, I'm not designed for Alabama this time of year. It was an absolute hot box, and I get it. People are listening to this saying, well, it's a heat wave here. Let me just let you know, it is a heat wave here. Going to get into the mid-90s, super hot, but we have let off. In the evening, it gets a little cooler. In Alabama, it never stops. It is hot from the moment you walk out the door to you return to the meat locker, which is what I was calling my hotel room because that's how cold it was all week and long. I mean, you don't sweat in the dark here unless you have good reason to sweat in the dark, if you know what I mean. So happy to be home, having a great week. Loved seeing the Prince of Palatka pull it off there. Cliff Prince, one of the true good guys of the sport, a incredible family man, surrounded by his family. I've watched his family grow up in the Bassmaster Elite Series, but to watch him finally get it done and pull it off was awesome. I can't wait to talk to him on this show. Also going to talk to Jake Latondras with Jake's take, but something that I am downright giddy about. My buddy KVD, Kevin VanDam, was featured in 6 minutes that I'm referring to as the greatest, or no, the most electrifying 6 minutes in sport fishing when the Pat McAfee Show talked about his career and his retirement. And if you've watched any of this show in the past, you know the big McAfee Show fan I am. I mean, there's a lot of references that I use that this show's inspired a lot by the McAfee Show. And really, it's no different, the Pat McAfee Show, than this show, other than the millions and millions of listeners and millions of advertising dollars. Other than that, it's about the same. It's an underdog story. That's what we feature here. We feature people who take a risk, people who take a chance, people who take their sack, throw it over their shoulder, and take a risk, and we see it pay off. That's what the Pat McAfee Show is. When I first started watching it, they had 1,000 to 1,500 viewers live, and I think they were recording in his basement. Today, it is arguably the biggest sports show on earth, and it's incredible to watch how Pat has exploded. I mean, Pat is everywhere. He, as a guy who screams for a living, he's got all the good jobs. I mean, I'm lucky to have my job at Bass, but he's got a lot of good jobs. I mean, not only does he do Pat McAfee Show, he also does College Game Day. He also does WWE. So as a childhood wrestling geek like myself, there's a little part of me that kind of hates Pat. I mean, he's kind of living a lot of things that I'd like to do. And here's the weird thing. He's good at freaking all of them. All of them are successful. All of them are amazing. And a couple of weeks ago, Samantha Irvin, who does the announcing for WWE, the in-ring announcing, incredibly talented. I hope she never goes anywhere. She's so good at her job. She is her own style, her own personality, and that is such a hard thing. And one of the things that I honor and cherish the most is originality, and she definitely has that. So I hope she goes nowhere anytime soon. But she did have to leave because Ricochet, her fiance, got injured. Don't know if it's part of the story or not. All of those of you that don't follow wrestling are like, who the hell is Ricochet and where is this going? But she left, and I'm like, who's going to announce? Well, maybe in a crazy world, this is where the genie shows up and says, hey, Mercer, you can get in the ring and do some announcing. Well, before I even finished that thought, Pat says, hey, I'll do it. And he did the intros and did a freaking great job of it. So On behalf of all of those that move the hole that makes the words, Pat, leave a job for somebody else. I'm a huge fan of that show, though, and to hear them talk about, and it's not just Pat. I mean, it's everybody. It is AJ Hawk, a.k.a. the Jawline. It is the COVID Cowboy, the Toxic Table, whether it be Boston Connor or Ty Schmidt, a.k.a. Lou Holtz, a.k.a. Mad Mel Kiper, a.k.a. Angry Jay Glazer, man of many, many voices. And then, of course, Boston Connor is the man of, well, many, many T-shirts. He's got an incredible T-shirt collection. I mean, this is world-class T-shirt collection. I mean, even Gumpy, my fellow Canadian, he's not on the camera all the time, but he was dealing with some visa. This is embarrassing, but I'll admit it. He was dealing with some visa issues, and me as a Canadian that works in the U.S., I have dealt with the hell that is visas. I reached out to him, sent him a message, say, hey, here's some way maybe I can help you. Let me know. Sure, Gump left me on red, but I won't hold that against him. I am a huge fan of the Pat McAfee Show. And for them to talk 6 minutes about professional angling was incredible. I mean, I was literally giddy. I've watched it over 100 times, and I want to say congrats to KVD. Thank you to the Pat McAfee Show for giving fishing that kind of platform. Sure, you guys didn't totally know what you were talking about, but that's what made it even better, and I love it. I am here for it. I've been here for it since day number one, because I know some people are probably thinking, hey, he's just trying to squeeze a little juice out of the McAfee Show. I've been for the brand since day number one. And I'm here for it. I thought it was awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm back now. I'm sorry. I got a little carried away there. Let me get myself all done up. And while I'm doing that, let's take a trip out to Colorado and hook up with Jake Latondras. What an idiot I am. Jake, we are back. And
back up north.
And
where it's nice and cool.
What's not actually here at home. We've got like this crazy heat wave, but as crazy as it is, it feels friggin' refreshing.
Oh my goodness.
You know, here's a weird thing I'll tell you. So I posted that video. I don't know if you saw it, but it was just a little clip on Bass Live when I was talking about how hot it was and how I was sponsored by Pedialyte that weekend just to get through. And as soon as I posted, I almost put, now cue the comments about how hot it is, how it's just as hot where you are. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I start getting all these comments from people that are like, well, wait till you come home. It's just as hot. And trust me, it is a freaking heat wave here. Like it's 90, supposed to be 90 something. But here's the difference. You ain't sweating in the dark unless you're doing something to sweat in the freaking dark. I mean, I went outside last night and I had a hoodie on and I was comfortable. I didn't ever look at a hoodie the whole time we were in Alabama.
Sun hoodies, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Oh my God, it was hot.
Oh, dude, I don't remember a tournament where we had as much crap affected by the heat. I mean, you had stuff like
screens going black.
Yeah. Like, that happened to Garrett's boat, right? It
happened to a lot of people. I heard that from several different anglers that happened on their sonar screens. And
well, you really froze out there.
I know.
Thought we needed to reboot.
I didn't want to name any brands because people would start going, "Oh my God, that's such a bad advertisement for a brand." But it wasn't the products. It was the freaking heat. I mean, who knows what the heat index was on those screens? And I mean, you can't test that. What are you going to do? Stick it in an oven? You know?
Yeah. I mean. And it just seemed so extreme this time. Like, I mean, we've been, I'm sure, hotter tournaments, but there was no wind. There was no, there's stories of that happening on the screens. We had Cooper Gallant, who literally had a big jug of water sitting on his deck of his boat, and it acted like a magnifying glass. You know, the old burn the bug magnifying
You burn a hole in his carpet?
It singed the carpet. Like, it left a little circle there. Who else? Swindle told me he has black reels he uses, and he said he had to lay like a rag across him. He said, because as he was, as they'd lay there and he'd fish, when he'd go to pick one up, I mean, it wouldn't burn his hand like physically, but it sure
But it
felt like
kinda
it
did.
friggin' burning.
John
Yeah.
Garrett had to dip his in the water. He would pick it up by the rod, dip it in the water before he made a cast. And honestly, the handle on the lens, on the servo lens on my camera, I had gloves, fingerless gloves on, and I couldn't hold the handle. I had to keep my hand open and just use the rocker switch like that. It was so freaking hot. And again, the sun was so bright, like I never knew.
How bright was it? Uh,
I don't know.
I was setting you up for a.
I don't know.
I thought you
was
were
that bright.
No. Oh wow. That is bright.
Yeah, but I mean, it was hot and it affected a lot of things. We had a camera guy go down,
Yeah.
in Jay Shakurit's boat, a new kid, and
Jay loved it though.
yeah, it was drawn.
Jay
thought it was funny.
I've never seen him smile more in my life. I mean, like, Jay Shakurit is very stoic, and he always kind of smiles, but he doesn't have
You gotta pull it
RBF
out
or
of him.
anything like
Yeah,
that. But he just doesn't. But dude, uncontrollably giggles anytime. What happened in your boat, Jay? So I guess dude fell in the water, did a lot of puking, and did the camera go in?
Not that I know of, because he was out. That was day 3. Day 4, we did have a little wind, so it was a little bit better. But day 3 was brutal. The last time I remember it being that hot was at the June. Was that 2020, the Classic at Ray Roberts in Texas?
Yeah.
That was freaking hot, but we didn't have issues. We didn't have issues like that. I mean, I had to rest this time around on Wheeler. I had to sit down and take more rests than normal just to keep my energy level up. I mean, I drank more water than I ever have. Hardly ever had to go pee because it was sweating out of me. And John Garrett, he actually came back after day 3. We came back at 1:30.
Really?
So, yeah, we checked in at 1:30. He was like, "Dude, I've had enough of this," and he said, "We're going in." So he starts heading towards the power lines, and I said, "Hey, John, are we going to check in?" He said, "Yeah." I go, "You need to turn around and go back the other way." And I'm telling you, he was acting weird. Like, he came down in the deck of the boat, in the bottom, in the floorboard, and he grabbed an empty water bottle. He grabbed his scissors that he cuts line with, and he cut the bottle in half, put the cap on. I was like, "What?" It was like a mini boat baler. You know how you used to have to bail your
Yeah.
aluminum boat when you were a kid with a milk jug? And he built this little cup, and then he literally just reached down in the water, filled it up with water, and started pouring it on his head. And then like, look, then he was like shivering, like literally shivering cold from that water. And the water was 89 degrees in the lake. Okay. And it literally, like he was like hypothermic when he did that. Or what's the opposite of hypothermic? Hyperthermic.
I am not the educated element of this show.
He was overheating. So he poured this on his head. He got the chills and he started shivering. That's when he said, "We need to go back. I don't feel good." So we go back to the dock. We check in at 1:30. I'm actually kind of happy about it. Because I'm thinking,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going in the camera trailer where there's an air conditioner and a big cooler full of Gatorade on ice. And he actually had to go to the hotel where we were staying and sit in the lobby to cool off, and he was not doing well. Bowman walked him over there and sat him down, and it was rough out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was not an easy one. So maybe it wasn't the power lines that were affecting John Cox, because he said all week that he felt sketched out. I mean, awesome to see him, the only guy without forward-facing sonar, do as well as he did. Led day number 1, but the funny part about it was he fished under those power lines, and all week he's like, "Man, I think they're doing something to me." And then he heard this story about the guy who owns the land back there had to build a fence because his cows were going back there, and they go under the power lines. and mysteriously end up dead. So, so for whatever reason, maybe it was the heat, maybe it was the power lines. Did you hear a buzzing above your head?
100%. Because Cox, John Cox was talking about the tip of his rod buzzing when he held it straight up when he was under the power lines, and it happened to John Garrett too. We were over there, and I got a question. Did you ever go out on the lake?
Hell no.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no.
You're too smart for that, aren't you?
Dude, I spent my entire tournament 1 and 2 spots either talking on the microphone or in my freaking meat locker room because it was so cold and so nice there. And then I would come back and talk in the microphone for a little while and then slink back into the meat locker.
I don't blame you. Well, there's one of the power lines, one of the towers in the middle of the lake has like this construction company on the island built around the base of the tower, and there's a boat, a patrol boat. It's like got blue lights on it, constantly going in circles. And John Garrett got too close to it one time. This was before I got in his boat. I think this was during practice. And the guy in that boat comes out there and says, "Don't go." He had to go to shore, and he pointed at that and he goes, "Don't go near that at all. Do you hear me?" And John was like, "Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to." And so I always wondered for 3 or 4 days there, we were on the lake. I was wondering what on earth they were doing at the base of that tower on Lake Wheeler. If anyone has any information about that, please DM me.
Yeah, let's find out the truth.
That's
You
right.
think he was, he kept talking about catching them under those power lines. And I always wondered, like, and he was like, yeah, something, the fish are acting weird, this, that. Do you think it's the power lines? Or I always think that, and here's a little tip time, under power lines, stuff like that, they were freaking built. So you always have like a lot of, whether it's rock piles, whether it's wood, whether it's whatever.
They're fake islands.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think there's something to the power line thing. I grew up on Kentucky Lake.
Near a power line, I bet.
This is like, I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm going to.
You should.
Anyways. Yeah. But when I was a kid, there was a high number of people that lived, we were like TVA. I mean, TVA is right there in New Johnsonville and Kentucky Lake. And all the power lines go out in different directions from the TVA plant. And there's a high number of people when I was growing up that lived under or close to those power lines that got cancer and got really sick. And I'm like, there's something to that because it's constantly buzzing. That's a tremendous amount of, what is it called? Electromagnetic waves that are in the air around those things. So, hopefully I never have to live under those power lines.
Well, let's not.
Away.
Don't freak out John Cox anymore. Then he needs to be freaked out. So day one, Brandon Lester, day one.
Brandon Lester
ruined his tournament.
I really did. And I didn't want to because he's a fellow Tennessean, and
you were all.
Bro.
You were friggin' blazing orange when I saw you on the way to take off. You had the hats, you had the jug.
What?
It was Team Tennessee.
Yeah, well, they're in the College World Series, and I have something to say about that.
Oh, I wish you would.
Well, Brandon and his wife Kimberly, we talk about Tennessee a lot. She's a huge Tennessee fan, so I was really pumped to be in his boat, thinking, we were gonna do well. And
Rocky Top,
and he just couldn't. He was 90 again. Another bad draw on day one. He was 96th out of the hole at takeoff. So, we struggled, and like his Instagram post said yesterday, it just never happened. He never got bit. He weighed 5 fish. He got his limit, but I think he had 8 or 9 pounds or something like that the first day. So he got behind right out of the gates and never really recovered. So, and I was going to say this while we're talking about Tennessee. One of my friends, Hunter McLemore from Huntington, Tennessee, who I played baseball against when I was a kid and at all levels, said my son a baseball. Can you see it? That
Yeah.
has the Tennessee Volunteers autographs on it. And I thought that
Go
was from last
Vols.
year, Vols 2023. And this guy named Christian Moore, who is probably going to be one of the top draft choices. He led the nation in home runs and has the most home runs in Tennessee baseball history. Hit for the cycle in the College World Series for the second time ever in the history of the event. And I just wanted to make that note. Thank you, Hunter McLemore, for sending that to my son. Thank you.
Very cool.
That was
Very
cool.
cool. Right now, you're appealing to one small group of the
And that's
country,
fine.
and
That's
nobody in
totally fine.
Canada. I mean, I'm all about it for you, but
Go
that's all I
Vols.
got.
Go Vols. There's a lot of Alabama people turning the show off right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about the event then.
So
It
you
was in
fished
Alabama.
why do I always say that? I always say you fished with. You're not allowed to fish. You
wish
were
I
in the
could.
boat with John Garrett the next 3 days, so that tells you how he did in this tournament. He had another good one, but you got with him on day 2.
Another Tennessee boy, I might add. He
Fixed.
no, it wasn't. John Garrett, he was on, he and I talked a lot about how specific he had to be on his spots. And basically, he had 3 spots where he caught all of his fish. And the thing about it was, there was like 5 other guys fishing those same spots. Alex Weatherall, Red Wine, who else? There's like 5.
Jay Securett.
I never saw Shakurat out
I
there.
thought him and Redwine were right near each other all week.
They may have been on another spot, but this was a spot these spots everyone was coming back to near those power lines. And John Garrett figured something out each day, whether it was with a Carolina rig. He just slowed it way down, and he was either dragging a Texas rig in the grass, or a Texas rig with a like a 10 or 12-inch worm on it, or he was throwing a Carolina rig and just slowly dragging it through, catching fish. And they all seemed to be on each spot there was a specific micro location, and the one where everyone was fishing, like he was catching all of his fish right off of the same stump, or at least near it. And I just find it to be really fascinating that there are all these famous bass lakes on the Tennessee River system, and each one of them have a different character about them, which makes them so different from each other. From whether it's Gunnersville or Watts Bar or Pickwick or Kentucky Lake or Barkley or Wheeler. And Wheeler, first of all, there's never any wind on Wheeler.
When it is, it gets rough. I mean, it can get really, really rough.
I heard that, but I haven't
they
seen
would
that.
they would have taken it this week. I mean, it was flat calm.
There's something else I wanted to say about Wheeler too. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I was with Tak Amori when he won in 2016.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd ever filmed someone win a Bassmaster Elite event. And one of the things that I don't think too many people caught on to when Tak won was, like, even I went back and watched the TV show on YouTube, the playback, and they kept talking about how he found these specific rock piles on that big flat, on the Decatur Flat, behind those barges where the barge ties were. And that was very true about what he did. But what I wanted to tell people at the event, which I never did because we can't talk about it, right, was what Tak was really doing was he was waiting for the tugboats behind the barges to come up, tie up to the barge where their turbines were in neutral, but they were still spinning, and it was blowing that debris up behind them, causing current, which brought in the bait fish, which kept those big fish on those rock piles just adjacent to that current line. That's what he was doing. He kept leaving Like he would when the barge would leave or shut their motors down, he would literally leave and go fish those islands, maybe run down to the power lines, and then he saw a tugboat come back. He would always come back and start fishing that current. And I remember him saying so many times, "We're going to know if they're here within 5 minutes." And he would make 5 or 6 casts, and if he didn't get bit with a spook or a big swim bait, and if he didn't get bit, we left. And he kept coming back, and that's how he caught all his big fish. It was a very unique, specific that he was paying attention to, that I don't think too many people had really caught on to what he was doing.
No, that's the first I've heard of that. But I think that stood out in this tournament, dude. Like, I think it's real easy just to Decatur Flats, all those areas. I mean, from above the water, they look so bland and just so normal. But I think what stood out in this tournament to me is precision and how dialed anglers that caught him were. I mean, you look at our eventual champion, Cliff Prince, and, these areas that they were fishing. I mean, it's not, when you think of an area, you're like, okay, it's 5-6 cast lengths right here. It's not. I mean, they're hitting pinpoint spots and they're dialing things in. And like you said about Talk, like how he got to that point where he figured that out is amazing.
Unbelievable.
And I think we saw a lot of that this week. Maybe not the same thing
I
with
agree.
barges, but really precise things. Like, it's the spot on the spot.
One stump in a field of stumps. Yeah. And where the grass line was, in perspective to the break line at the river channel, all those things were, or what angle, based on the fact that there was no wind, what angle they had to cast from to catch those fish based on the way they were set up. And I texted Brandon Fiend. He was in Cliff Prince's boat, and he told me that he never really used front-facing sonar. He was literally going off the fish that were schooling, and that's where he was catching his big fish. Transversely, John Garrett was using front-facing sonar, but he was using it a little bit differently. I mean, he was using it in perspective mode at 5 feet of water for the most part, but he wasn't casting to a specific fish he saw on his front-facing sonar. He would just see the group of fish, the school, and cast to the school, cast past it and drag it back through. And he got bit a ton doing that. But it was a little bit, it really was, he wasn't using it like, I don't even know if that front-facing sonar has a traditional way of use thus far in its
It's ruining the
infamous
tradition
career.
is what it's doing. It's ruining the tradition.
It is. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, here's something I want to know about John Garrett, because I missed it. And I know what I was doing. So Swindle and Carl Jacobson were hosting Live Mix, and they were on John Garrett. And I'll be honest, I was actually dropping a deuce at the time. So hey, it's natural. So I could hear this all happening, but I never got to see what they were talking about. But there is some rig or something he was doing with his worm that when you asked him what brand it was, he said undisclosed brand. So he didn't want to give it up. What was that?
On his worm? He was
like
using
the way he was rigging his worm.
It
was on Sunday or Saturday, I guess. You asked him, you straight up said, what brand is that?
Yeah, I just asked him because Middleton, our director, asked me. He goes, "No, yeah. Someone in the truck asked me, can you zoom in on that bait and have him talk about it?" And I don't remember
the way he was rigging it. Oh my gosh!
I don't remember him doing anything.
This segment's
it's a disaster.
Charade. It's a charade.
Totally.
We're gonna bring you behind the scenes, the ultimate Jake's take
And
Unless, of course, Jake doesn't pay
I
attention
don't know
because he's
shit.
stroking out.
Yeah, I've got dementia from all the heat from the heat stroke I had.
That's not funny.
Well, kind
That's
of.
okay. So, anyways, there was something really good he did, but Jake has no idea what that was. We'll.
But I remember Middleton saying, "Zoom in on that bait and let's see what he's doing."
It was a little thing the way he was rigging it. I just know that Swindle and Carl were freaking out about it, and they were like, "We need to find out what that is," and he wouldn't tell us what it was. So
He was cutting the tip off,
just the
and
tip.
he was hooking his worm normal.
Yeah, I don't know. There was more to it. I'll figure it out. I'll go back in the footage.
Okay.
This has been a really bad part of the show.
Let's change the subject.
Do you got any real information, Jake? You got anything good?
Let me see here. What good came out of that?
This week's Jake's Take. He got hot. Fished with Brandon Lester and then John Garrett. Back to you. Gold.
What did happen? What did happen on you know what I found interesting was how many people were fishing. Like it looked like a walleye tournament. You know what I mean? There were so many boats on each spot. I don't even know how they filtered through that and how everyone kept their composure because people were fishing so close to each other. You know what I mean? It was
And I think from what I mean, give credit where credit's due. From what I know, a relatively uneventful event in the way that like of people getting. I mean, it's the time of year where you think they're gonna. I mean, you're hot. It's that time of year. You need your points, and you think that's when they're gonna argue and things are gonna happen. But it seemed like everybody got along for the most part that I saw.
Yeah, I think I think it was quietly annoying for some people because like John Garrett, every time he was saving, he would be like, he was trying to manage his spot just like he did at Harris Chain. He was in that one little area, but that one little area had two spots where he got bit and he had to manage it, right? And it was very obvious, like JT Tompkins came up and fished with him part of the day, I believe it was on day 3, and no one was catching anything. And as soon as JT bailed out, John Garrett started catching fish. And that was very similar in the way he was sharing spots with Logan Parks, Alex Redwine, Alex Weatherall. And every time he went back, he would say, okay, I'm going to leave this spot for an hour. We need to let it rest. There's been 5 boats on it the past 2 or 3 hours. It's got so much pressure. They're not biting. We're going to go down here, come back in an hour or two and check it. And every time we'd pack up and go back down to the power lines, someone would be on that spot. So
you couldn't rest stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't blaming anyone or irritated at a specific person, but it was a little bit frustrating that he couldn't manage his spots with rest the way that he really wanted to. So
yeah. Oh, the reason I laughed when you brought up Logan Parks is because one of the under the radar best lines of the week was, and you were involved in it, even if you remember it, unlike the last story. Maybe you don't remember this too. But so John Garrett is fishing, and I don't know if it was one of the studio hosts or somebody, or you fed him the question, but somebody said, is there any other boats in the area? And he said, yeah, but none that can catch him.
Oh, yeah.
And then right away you panned over, and Logan Parks is literally right beside him, who is also his roommate. So I just thought it was very funny. Great timing. Great comedic timing.
They were definitely cheesing on each other at that point anyway. And I know Logan well enough. I've known him before he came up. I actually knew him when he was fishing at Auburn. And I felt friendly enough to where I could do that, and he wouldn't be butthurt over it. He's good natured. They're all good natured.
Yeah,
Most of
they're
them
great. Hey, speaking of not so good natured, I just had this pop up, and I have to read it. Do you know that Barstool wrote? I guess there's their blog. Or some article came out about it. Welcome to America. Fox decides to air Bassmaster Elite fishing instead of some silly little European soccer match.
Really?
Oh yeah, the soccer folks are very upset, I guess. People tried to tune in and see.
Wow. What about you guys being on you and
Oh,
Zona
we're gonna
and
get it.
KVD being
Yeah, and
on
Pat McAfee
Pat
show.
McAfee show? What about that, dude? Honestly, in the 4 days we were out there, other than the intensity of the heat, that was the most impressive thing that I saw was your show, y'all segment on the Pat McAfee show. I mean, dude, that's big time.
I would say it was KVD's segment, and
That's
I
true.
was. But that being said, I mean, I will ride his coattails to mention the Pat McAfee show, and I mean, I dig deep into that and other parts of this show, so we don't have to get too far into. But yes, I'm kind of a freaking big deal. I was mentioned on the Pat McAfee show,
That's
and you
awesome.
know how weird I am. Like, dude, I love that show. Like, I'm like uncomfortably. Like, I talk about them like they're my friends at
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I know, Dave. Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, no, that was awesome. That was awesome. But Barstool and the soccer folks are upset because we were on Fox when the Euros is going, I guess.
Was that the first time they've
Um,
ever noticed we air on? Oh, since we were on Fox and not FS1.
yeah, but we were on Fox. Like the Euros, I guess, is a big deal in the soccer world,
Hmm.
and
It
and
is.
so it should be. Um, and I guess it's on Fox, and people were expecting to see it, and then there was 2 hours of Bassmaster. Hey, I'm here for it. Sorry, it's freaking the Whataburger Bassmaster Elite. It's important.
What about Whataburger stepping up to the plate? They're a very friendly group of people, and they actually do. Like I'm gonna start eating more at Whataburger because they actually do care genuinely about the bass fishing industry. Like they're involved.
The first, I love Whataburger. I'm all about Whataburger. But the first time I ever had Whataburger, and before I say this, there's no racial overtones to this at all. But when you say that, I mean,
Uh-oh. You
when you
just
say
teed
that,
it up, bro.
no, but there's not. There's not. This is just exactly how it happened. So I had no idea. I mean, I'm a dumb Canadian. This is 20 years ago, and I'm in Texas with a bunch of. We fly into Harlingen, Texas, then we drive 4 hours. I think we went to Lake Guerrero. So we drive across the Mexican border. We drive 4 hours, and we're fishing Lake Guerrero for a week. And this is a group of guys that is, they're fishing for a week. And generally on a trip like that, the night before you go, I mean, there's some cocktailing and, everybody. So you drive this 4 hour van ride in one of those extendo vans across the mountains and everything back to Harlingen.
It's like the
So
Baja.
pretty much. So we're in the van on the way back. So we've been in Mexico for a week, had a great trip. And the guy who's driving us, we're all kind of hungover, and we're all like, man, I need a burger or something. Just like we need to go to some greasy food. And not the Whataburger's greasy.
Okay.
But
So no
try not to
wonder
offend
you were
anyone.
dropping a deuce.
No. So we're going through, and we're like, dude, wait, can we go get a burger? And the guy says, we go to Whataburger in Arlington.
What?
And I'm like,
What?
well, we're all a bunch of Canadians are like, well, Whataburger? What? And he's like, yeah, we go to Whataburger when we get to Harlingen. So it became a thing where we're like, we're going to Whataburger. And then in unison, we pull into the parking lot, and in unison, we're all like, oh, what a burger. We thought it was Whataburger for the longest time, but it's very good. It's a Texas institution, and they were this week's sponsor. So thank you for supporting bass fishing. And
They're moving into the area. They're building Whataburgers all over Tennessee now.
yeah, Patrick Mahomes owns a bunch of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Now I got to reconsider whether I really.
Oh, yeah. Why own something owned by the greatest quarterback to ever live?
Oh, my God.
I mean, come on. He's the greatest quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
currently
7
playing.
Super.
Give him
No,
time.
wait. That's Tom Brady.
Listen, Tom stuck around for a long time. Tom was very good. Tom was very good.
Very
but hey,
good.
he's the best. I get it.
Okay, there you
right
go.
now,
Okay.
I'll give you that. But I believe that Patrick will be by the time. I mean, who cares? Who freaking cares? Just keep winning, Patrick. Don't worry about any of this crap. Cue the comments.
Yeah, right. Ding, ding, ding.
It took such a short period of time to get hated as a Chiefs fan. Before, people used to be like, "Oh, you're a Chiefs fan. How cute. Why?" Now they're just like, "Oh, whatever."
I know. I went flip-flopped being a Denver Bronco fan in the NFL because we used to laugh at the Chiefs. Now we're like, oh my God, now we have to put up with all this crap.
Now you have one of the highest paid quarterbacks that doesn't play for you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And a tight end that dates Taylor Swift.
No. I mean, you guys have the quarterback this time. We have a tight end that doesn't. But I'm saying you have a highest paid quarterback that doesn't play anymore, being Russell Wilson, who
he's a Steeler.
A
Steeler.
He is in multiple ways.
Speaking
a
of
Pittsburgh Steeler and a Steeler of the Denver Broncos friggin' salary cap.
Oh my God, he did too, man. You wait and see. He's gonna thrive in Pittsburgh. Even
I bet
their quarterback room is loaded. But you wait and see. He's gonna thrive in Pittsburgh, and we're just gonna be sitting there twiddling our thumbs for another 5 years, paying him off. Hey, speaking of winners, see my T-shirt?
Oh, yeah.
My son, can I say this? Can I plug my son?
No, you cannot talk about your child.
Okay, I'm going to anyway.
Okay.
My son,
why'd you ask?
has qualified for the National Junior Olympic Tournament in Wichita, Kansas, which starts this coming. He checks in this coming Friday and will be in Wichita for an entire week. So I'm going to miss the first 2 days at Smith Lake because I'm going to be in Wichita watching my son box in a national tournament, which I'm really proud of because he's really proud of it.
We haven't done this in a long time, but Walker deserves some cowbell.
Yeah, go Walker. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while. I mean, here's what I'm going to say. In the time of this podcast, in the time that you've been part of this podcast, your child has gone from being a kid who said, "Hey, Dad, I think I'd like to try boxing," to being in the, what is it, the junior?
These are the nationals, the USA Boxing National Junior Olympic Tournament.
Yeah. Wow.
I know, dude. I know.
And still this podcast just wades water in mediocrity.
Yeah. Hey, we're trying. We're trying.
And Walker's going to be a star. So good for him. Congratulations. I can't wait to watch that go down. But it is really crazy when you think about it, dude. Like, he just started boxing when
2 years ago. This July 7th will be his second year anniversary from the very first organized practice that he went to in boxing.
Wow.
Yeah. He started out 0-5, and we never cherry picked his opponents. We traveled to Tennessee and Nebraska.
He ain't ducking no one.
Nobody. And he was fighting kids that were fighting at the national level in his first 5 fights, and he started out 0-5, and we expected that. We expected him to lose those fights, but we wanted to see where he was and how much grit he had. And since then he's 10-3 since his 0-5 start. So his full record is 10-8, but really I look at it like he's 10-3 since he really started to understand what he's doing. So you go, boy. We'll be rooting for you. A lot of people out there be rooting for you, Walker.
Wow. That is
makes
awesome.
Me smile.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see how it goes for him, and congrats. And I just find it amazing because it really is, that the amount of time that Jake's take's been part of this, which seems like a long time, but it doesn't, like, really, when you think of where he's come from, do you think this podcast has anything to do with his incredible success?
There's a possibility that,
I mean, a lot is lining up.
Support. He's got, see, He wants to start his own podcast too. He started his own YouTube channel.
Oh boy.
I know. You're toast, dude.
Here we go.
Bring him on here. Maybe I'm toast.
I'm tired of fighting with podcast partners.
Oh man.
Oh, if people knew how ridiculously early we're recording this. Listen, we are committed to you fine folks. I mean, what time is it where you're at?
It's 6:59 a.m. I got up at 5 a.m. to put my makeup on.
Yeah. It looks good. It looks good.
Little did I know your new platform had a facial enhancement.
Yeah, but you used
button
it
on it. I did.
I mean, I'm natural. Just so you know, this side of the screen, natural. This is what I look like. Grizzled. And Jake is, I mean, he's all friggin' filtered up. Look at him. He doesn't even, you won't even recognize him when you see him.
Aside from the morning bags under my eyes, I filtered all the wrinkles out. And
Hey,
I'm proud of it.
Here's something I was honestly thinking about.
Okay.
While I was flying back. Because I just got back yesterday. This is the next morning. I mean, we could have slept in. No, we got up for the fine viewers of this podcast. So you're welcome. I hope you enjoy this. I mean, how long till we're replaced by AI? Let's be honest. I mean,
I don't want to hear about that.
AI doesn't fall in the water. AI doesn't get sick. AI just show like. I mean, do you think who's going down first, me or you?
Me for sure.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they have thousands of hours of me saying stupid crap.
Yeah,
they could literally make me say anything.
Yeah, but this is your show. They're gonna take you out first. No,
I don't mean here. Yeah, I can still talk to my computer whenever I want. I mean, like at Bass, like at our other job.
Oh yeah. Well,
we'll
see,
be
you're
able
gonna
to do this forever. It'll just be us bitching about AI. That's what the show will evolve into.
You're gonna get replaced by AI. I'm gonna get replaced by phone cameras or some sort of automated live GoPro mounted on the back of a boat, or like Taku's boat. He's got like 5 GoPros all around his boat. And I remember sitting down one day. Man, I can't get away with anything in this boat because there's a camera pointing at me from all directions. And then I started thinking, what if JM catches onto this and just starts eliminating camera guys altogether because it's all autonomous and automated? It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Will we strike? Do you think we could strike?
I don't know. We might be ready for retirement by then anyway. And then I'll be laughing at all the young guys that came in, and here they are.
Yeah. You know what I'll be doing?
What?
I'll be living large on that Walker coattail money.
Yeah. No, yeah. You get behind me, bro.
Hey, Walker, I had your back from day number 1. He had you fighting those dudes that beat up on you for the first 5. I would have protected you. I would have put you in a cone of silence and happiness. I'm going to be his. No, that's fine.
I'm going to go have a talk with him right now. just so y'all know, too, I'm not a hardcore dad like Richard Williams, King Richard, Serena, and Venus's dad. I'm not like that. My kids are just like what they do. All right. I just want you guys to know that. I don't push them into anything. Walker, get back on the treadmill right now. What are you doing? 3 miles. Go 5.
Put on the weight jacket, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so we're both going to miss. I'm probably just going to miss the first day of Smith, but here's how old I am. At one point when I first started at Bass, I remember taking a day off because I had to attend a graduation. And when I got back, everyone was like, "Oh, congratulations, your son graduated." But at the time, he was just graduating from kindergarten. And I was like, yeah, it's just kindergarten. It was kind of a gimme. But this is not a gimme, especially if you're in the Mercer household and a male. is graduating from high school. So he graduates from high school. So I'm going to miss the first day of Smith as well. And hey, after experiencing the ridiculously warm temperatures, I'm here for it.
Well, we'll both miss it together.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot down there too, eh?
Yeah.
It's even
Well,
further south.
You just dropped an A in there.
I know.
Not even I dropping it. You're spending too much time with Canadians is what you're doing.
I am.
You got anything else?
What was I going to say? I don't know.
Yeah. This has been a bad one.
I know. It's just been horrible. One thing led to another.
Hey, I was on Pat McAfee, though. I don't need to put up with this crap anymore.
What about you? What was your perspective from your AC chilled room at Wheeler? Like, what do you think about Wheeler?
It was hot.
Besides that,
great venue. Ingalls Harbor there is an incredible tournament venue that I believe Trip Weldon helped design initially. So that is part of the reason why. But a great venue. God bless all those people that showed up.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I was being paid to be there, and I was like, good googly moogly, it is too freaking hot to be out here. But the people that stood there and cheered on our pros, thank you. You guys are, I said that on the final day weigh-in, and when it came out, I thought, wow, that didn't. Sometimes you say things and you're like, yeah, that hit. People got that. And then sometimes you say things and you're like, wait a second, that didn't go over well or didn't come out right. But I said, hey, we've had bigger crowds and we've had louder crowds, but you guys are one of the most dedicated crowds. And it's true.
No doubt. No doubt.
Incredible the amount of people that came out and cheered on the Elite Series pros. I'll tell you this, our Angler of the Year thing, boy, it just flippity flopped.
Holy cow, is it moving around like a freaking snake in the grass?
I feel like you were searching on that one there. Still atop the leaderboard, Trey McKinney, Justin Hamner moves into second, Cody Huff in third, Jacob Fouts, what a story that is, in fourth.
All those guys have great stories.
John Garrett, Jordan Lee drops all the way to seventh after a 92nd place finish in Alabama. Sorry, I believe Jordan's going to have a giant Smith, but you would have to believe that at this time. In ninth, Wesley Gore, or in eighth, Wesley Gore. In ninth, JT Tompkins, and in 10th, Jace Shakurin. How many rookies we have? 1,
3,
2, 3, 4. 4 out of the top 10 are rookies in our Angler of the Year list. Crazy. This crazy season continues, but Smith's going to be another good one. And this wasn't a very good Jake's take, but we appreciate you listening.
Come on, that wasn't that bad.
I mean, you looked good, but I don't think we brought much.
Well, that was your fake filter.
No. Your fake filter. You clicked it. I was like, no, I don't need to be fake. I'm real.
You provided it.
I didn't provide. All right. Well, you look good.
I was speaking of looking good. What about Bassmaster Her? Can we talk about that for a second?
Whoa, that was a weird transition, but yes, we can. It's a great campaign.
Talking about looking good.
It's about sure.
Women, females, they look good. Maggie Carcello, Christine Fisher, and Anastasia Patterson.
Pissed at all of them.
Why?
Because I didn't see any of them. They were all there. And anytime I saw them, I was on stage. Christine came on this very podcast, said, hey, we'll hook up at the event. We'll see each other. I never saw any of them. But maybe that was because I hid in
your air-conditioned room, in your penthouse AC.
Oh, here, I got a funny story for you. So I check in the first, and we will get into Bassmaster after this, but I check in. It's late the night before the tournament. I go to my room, and they had these automated, like remotes for your blinds. So I hit it. And
in your room, you did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did not
two
have
different
that.
layers of blinds, blackout blinds, and it was. But the problem was that like I hit it, and it starts going up, and I'm hitting it to stop, but it wouldn't stop, and it just kept going around, and like it ripped a thing off the frame of the window. It was beating the crap, and it's like midnight by the time I get there. I'm like, whoever's my neighbor is hearing this. So
Really?
finally, I stop it and everything, and then the next morning, I'm talking to Chad Gay, who does our media stuff at Bass, and I said, "Hey, I got in a fight last night with my
Shade.
shade remote." And he's like, "You got a remote for your shade?" He said, "My room is just," and I'm like, "This hotel's new. It's not like they've redone certain rooms." And then it wasn't until the next day that I noticed the reason I had that is because I was in the
The pimp
hen-
penthouse.
no. I noticed all of a sudden I have two peepholes, one high and one low. I was in the accessible room, the handicap room, if that's
Oh, gotcha.
so. That's why I had the remotes, and I apologize to whoever has to deal with it because there is
you
a
jacked it.
backlash in the blackout shades. I'll tell you.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't once I got it fixed. I didn't touch them again all week because the remote was not very good. But let's just jump into something good. Bassmaster, a great campaign that Bass is doing, an initiative, I guess, to inspire and educate female anglers, and this is the second of which. And they did one earlier this year. Where did we do it?
I think they're
In
doing another
Palatka?
one at the end, like at the St. Lawrence River. I think they're having another event, and where women gather. I went into that conference building next to the hotel to eat some dinner after day 3, and they had a whole group of women in there. Anastasia and Christine and Maggie were doing seminars and really trying to influence and up the ante for more female participation in the sport. And I don't think they could have picked 3 better women to represent what they're doing and the new brand that they've established. And I have not met Christine at all ever, but Anastasia has always been very cordial and very sweet and very kind and friendly at the events that I've seen her at. And then I met Maggie in the hotel lobby when I first arrived to the hotel, and she was just as charming
She's
and
awesome.
friendly as you see. She is what you see on social media. And I actually sent her a private message this morning calling her out, telling her how great of a job that they're doing and how special that really is, and how one day, all the work that they're doing right now to influence women into the sport of bass fishing or just fishing in general or outdoors is going to pay off because they're doing it the right way.
Very cool initiative, and they are exactly as you see on social media. But for people like me, that's the only place I see them. I didn't get to see them in real life. You could eat at that pavilion.
Well, Eric Lopez told Wes that there was enough leftovers for us after the event. So we went in and ate chicken and baked beans and barbecue sandwiches and all that good
Wow,
stuff. Sweet tea. It was true Southern meal.
wow! I
Yeah.
did not get that offer. So
Sorry, buddy.
I'm well. I mean, I was.
I'd have brought you a plate.
You're fine. You're fine.
How about that Mexican restaurant we went to?
Oh, it was great. It was great. The
Three
guy just kept
star.
trying to sell drinks, though.
Oh
Here,
yeah.
how about this
Yeah. Oh
margarita?
my God.
But that's not
Dude,
even all. Then there's this margarita.
I'm trying to find something in here big enough to use as an analogy as to how big these
I've
margaritas.
never seen
They were
anyone
literally.
drink.
It was a fish bowl. It was a fish bowl with a stem on it. Was it not?
Oh, he loved to push him though. He kept just bringing out different, like bigger chalices full of margarita. But we were responsible. We had a good meal. We had a good event. Um, and I think it's a good time to end this, Jake.
Okay.
I think we've done enough.
We have. That was a very random conversation, but I was entertained by it.
Well, as long as we were. Hey, next time you're on a boat, can you do me a favor? Can you pay more attention so that this segment actually is what we say it is?
Okay. Okay. What are they going to do at Smith Lake? Who's going to win and what are they going to do?
I know, a lot of partying,
I've never
a
been on
lot of
I've never
wakeboarding, a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of partying.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
I forgot about that. The party scene on Smith Lake is notorious, isn't it?
oh,
Oh yeah.
I hope to be part of it on Bass Live.
I'm going to be a part of it cuz I'll be running the camera and I'm sure I'll be panning off in other directions. So,
Well, I look forward to that. What a great segue from Bassmaster to that. This has been Jake's Take. Let's go, Walker.
go Walker and go Vols. College World Series.
Oh,
Bye.
come on. From Colorado, we traveled to Florida to hook up with the brand new Bassmaster Elite Series champion, none other than the Prince of Palatka himself, Cliff Prince. The Prince of Palatka is officially a Bassmaster Elite Series. Do they have a sign yet, Cliff? Do they have a welcome to Palatka?
Oh man,
home of Cliff Prince.
Well, it was not a welcome to Palatka, but when I got home, 3 of my friends come up and they had some big signs made. Happy Father's Day, congrats, Cliff, and all that good stuff. So I'll send you a picture of it.
Very cool. It one of the coolest victories in a long time, honestly. I mean, obviously for you, it's going to be cool because it's your victory. But just as somebody who watches them, just to see the amount of people cheering for you, to just see how dominant you were, literally, like it was a very cool week. Have you had a chance to kind of absorb it yet, or has it been just kind of a whirlwind getting back home since then?
It's been a whirlwind. I didn't get any big hurry getting home. I went by the hunting camp in Georgia and moved some deer cameras, some wise eye deer cameras around, and just kind of did the unwind deal, getting home. So it's been fun, and I've been soaking it up as much as I can.
Is it as cool as you imagined?
Way cooler. Yeah, I want to do it again.
It's what everyone says.
Yeah. It's very addicting. That's for sure. It's better than any drug. That's for sure.
Does it replace all of the close one? I mean, you've had some crazy stories happen to you over your time here. Does it? Do you? Is it kind of like childbirth in the way that, like, when you? I mean, I don't know personally, but I hear after all that pain, you're like, oh, it was all worth it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there was a few of them that I'd have liked to have won earlier in my career because I feel like, the sooner you can win one in your career, the easier it is to win your second one. Maybe not easy, but you just don't feel like you got that ton of bricks like I kind of explained to Davey. He goes, is it getting any easier or harder on your home water to try to win one? I said, well, every year that they come back again and again, it just seems like they stack another brick on each shoulder. And, and now to get that off, it's like, man, I want it again,
Well, I'd like to see that happen again.
Yeah.
How shocked are you that it wasn't Palatka?
Terry Scroggins and I have been friends, and we did a lot of fun fishing before I qualified for the elites, and we talked back and forth because we drive whenever hurricanes and stuff had come through Florida. We'd get up 3 o'clock in the morning and drive down to Kissimmee and go catch 100 by noon and come back. And we always talked about winning one. And he says, everybody always tells me it's going to happen when you least expect it. And by far, this was not on my radar to win. My record on the Tennessee River's not all that. It's not that I don't know how to ledge fish or offshore fish. It's just that, for whatever reason, I don't like fishing in a crowd as much as, some of the times that's the case on the Tennessee River.
So when did you, if you said this was unlikely, Wednesday evening, you're getting ready to compete Thursday, did you think you had a shot to win this, or just think I've got a decent area?
Well, first day of practice, I found the area. I think I explained that to you. I seen a couple shed running, and then when I seen that local there, I'm like, well, that's a spot, that it's not like they were just there for one day or something. So, and I was explaining it to Bernie, and he goes, "Where's that area at?" He said, and I wouldn't give it up. And he says, that could be a winning spot. I said, well, you just never know. And when I caught what I caught, as soon the first day, and I seen them come up schooling, and there was like legitimately 4 and 5 pounders. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I don't have anywhere like this, and it's 9 o'clock and nobody's tried to get here. And I'm thinking to myself, as many fish as I just seen, this place could last for 4 days. And, it got less and less each day, and they got more conditioned to what I was throwing. I tried other stuff, but, for whatever reason, the only a couple of baits I could catch them on was the 2 that I showed everybody. And, I don't know, it worked out. And, that spot was small, but had plenty of fish on it. And I think some of them were still coming. The more shad that would come and spawn there in the mornings, I think there was new groups coming, because I was not that far off the river ledge, off the channel.
That has to be a frustrating situation to compete in. I mean, it worked out good for you this time, but I mean, you're on a body of water that, I mean, it's not finding the right area. It's finding the right cast almost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How did this, I mean, was there luck involved in finding this area? Was it just a massive amount of time you spent and then you dialed it in? Like what about this one area stood out to you?
Well, one of the reasons I didn't run around was once I caught and seen what was there, I'm like, I'm going to guard it. Cause I mean, these guys are moving, and there was guys out there on that flat, and not saying that they were going to come over there on purpose, but I mean, it was very easy for somebody to just, to get down and rig something and the wind blow them across there or whatever, or somebody could just come and say, I'm going to just stop here and try this area, So I felt like if I could stay there, and every time somebody would come that way and start fishing, I'd just start fishing towards them and start throwing at them, Get back. I never would say nothing. Just start fishing towards them, But it worked out. That's I know that's happened for other people, and I've never fished that way before. I've never legitimately sat on one spot and said, I'm not leaving, But I, for whatever reason, the good Lord told me, don't leave.
Did he ever tell you on the final day on Sunday? Did he ever tell you to leave? Because I'm sure, hey, you had a decent day on the final day, but if you compare it to your other days, it's right. I'm not even talking about weight. I'm talking about just the ease of, dude, you were in buying buying ice other days by like 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's all in the line, you're 5 fish away from it. And as will always be the case, you're tested.
Yeah, man. I've never made it easy on myself for whatever reason. I'm always that guy that's struggling to catch 5, it seems like. But on that final day, I had in the back of my mind, Bernie and I had found another area, and it was up there towards where Ray Henselman was catching them. But I seen what Bernie caught on the third day, and I'm like, if I catch 5, I'm not leaving. And one of the things that kind of kept me there is I knew around noon to 1 o'clock, there was always a flurry. Because I wasn't fishing for them at that time, but I would see them come up in school. Yeah. So I left that area for exactly 1 hour, and I made a big loop out on the flat, and I caught a couple small ones. And when I come back, I didn't know it, but my son told me after the tournament, he said, Dad, 30 minutes after you left, he said there was 2 had come up bust and one had bust. He said, on your identical cast, you catch that 3-pounder. So,
wow. It's been a long time coming. Did you ever had a point where you thought maybe I'm not meant to win one of these?
Yeah, I mean, literally, I've never thought that until this year, and I mean, this has been the hardest season for me as far as my finishes have been terrible, and not that I just wasn't catching them, and it seemed like every time I turned left, I should have turned right. Or I lost some at Palatka the second day. I lose 3 7-pounders in a row, and I wanted to break everything in my boat and park it and walk home. But the bad part is I didn't even have a marshal that day. My marshal got burnt up the day before and didn't come, and I didn't even have anybody to complain to. I mean, it was like. And I get home that night and Bernie goes, "Let's watch it." I said, dude, I want to delete it right now. I said, I don't even want to watch it. I mean, it was that devastating to your mental state of mind. It was because you always want to do good on your home water. And I had the last day of practice in Palatka. I was like, I got him. I know, and I had it in my mind. I knew exactly where I was going to be at what time. And when I lost those fish that first day of the tournament, I mean, they were 13 or 14 pounds worth of fish, but I knew what I had later that afternoon. And I put all my eggs in one basket, and I get there that afternoon and they're like all gone. And I'm like, now what? It's 2:00 and I'm almost in Jacksonville. So, what? I got to be back at 3:30, and I don't know. It just, like I say, Palatka was just a total disaster again. And like I say, it just didn't work. I had a good game plan. I had fish found. It wasn't like I wasn't on anything. They just didn't work.
With this being a tough season for you, I mean, you want to ask how's this going to change things, but I guess it changes nothing other than it was a good finish for you, right. And you got to keep building on that for the next right. 3 events.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is a total 180 from what I was doing, and I want to build on this momentum. We're going to Smith next week, and I'd like to win that one. I've had a good finish there before, and I kind of feel like I know what the fish, the 2 things that I want to try to make work. I mean, I don't feel like I can't beat these guys now.
Speaking of beating these guys, one thing that stands out is, and we joked about it. I mean, you joked about it with your camera guy, and I'm in your group, but okay. We're the older dudes,
right?
And is there? I mean, this entire season's been dominated by young guys. That's all the chatter has been about that. Is there a part of you that is like, screw you, whippersnapper, we back?
That's right. Me and Ray, we were talking in line before we got up on stage that 4th day, and he goes, "This is the way it needs to stay right here, us 3 right here, me, him, and John." But because I have nothing against the young guys. They're awesome fishermen.
Yeah.
Every one of them I've met and talked to seem like good guys. And, my hat's off to them that they're way more rounded than I was at their age at fishing. I hadn't even traveled out of the state of Florida to catch a bass. By their time they were 18 years old, they've covered as much ground as I had when I was 42 years old, so. My hat's off to them. They're obviously good fishermen. If they can fish 9 tournaments and qualify for the elites, they deserve to be there.
Yeah, but there had to be part of you that. I mean, okay. Let me ask you from another direction. Have a bunch of older dudes called you and said, "Hey, way to go"?
Oh yeah. Way to bring it home, For sure. It's all the older guys that say, "Hey, man, awesome job, way to kick ass," and it's been good, man, to seeing all the people, that I hadn't heard from in several years. A lot of the guys that went to the other tour and to text you and say good job.
What was the most shocking text you got or exciting text? Somebody you didn't expect to hear from?
It wasn't directly to me. Rick Clunn's wife texted Bernie and said, "I've never seen Rick this excited about somebody winning."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Very, very cool, especially coming from him.
yeah.
What does Rick Clunn mean to you? I mean, I think the last 30 seconds proves what Rick Clunn means to you. But in your words, who is Rick Clunn to you?
Dude, do you know how many miles that man has towed a boat? It's not like he's been on a plane flying to these events. I know what it takes just for 1 year. He's done it longer than I've been alive, or as long as I've been alive. And I've idolized him since I was, started watching BASS.
Yeah.
He is just an absolute machine, and my hat's off to him. I don't know how he's, I know what wear and tear it's done on me, what few years I fished compared to what he has. So, man, he is a machine.
He is. And tournaments like this past week make me think it even more. Like, you're just like, it's so hot. Everybody, and I'm like, I'm not 77. And you think of Rick out there at 77 years old. It's an inspiration to everybody.
Yeah, it is.
No, you didn't use forward facing sonar at all, did you? Or
the third day I turned it on and went through my area just to see what was there and what was, because I mean, it doesn't lie.
No, it tells the truth.
Yeah. It shows you everything. And what I was amazed with was I only had it, it's in 4 foot of water. So I only had it panned out to like 20 feet. And I had perspective mode on, and just the amount of bait and fish that were in that area. And when you got away from it, the lack of that. So it really showed me, for whatever reason, that was the corridor. There was no depth change, no ditch. It was just obviously something about, and I noticed it whenever I was fishing through there, there was less grass. So obviously it was harder. It was almost like a ditch that the grass was forming more so than the depth or anything else, because of the hardness of the bottom, shell or rock or whatever it was,
It was everything you needed to get that victory. And I love how your reaction is no different than every other person I talk to after they win. They're just like, yeah, more. I want more of that.
Yeah, it's definitely addicting. That's for sure.
You still have your business in Palatka, correct? Like, you're not a full-time angler, are you?
I do. Yeah. I couldn't do it without it. I mean, it definitely pays the bills around the household when you're not winning. That's for sure. And that's been the case here lately, for sure.
Why do you think it's been such a tough season? Is that just part of the sport?
Man, this sport is so mental, and when you have a couple of, it started at the end of last year. I caught fish, but they just weren't the right ones. And then it was just kind of just trickled down. And then, I go to Texas and I get just totally throttled by the young guys. And I'm like, dude, what am I doing? I really felt good about I should have caught the fish at those events, but they just caught them way better than I did. Bottom line, I talked to Davey about it. He goes, do you put it off on forward face? And I said, no, it's just that I'm not catching them. It doesn't matter how you catch 20 pounds. You just got to catch 20 pounds every time you go against these guys. If you don't have a 4-pound average anymore, you don't stand a chance to be competitive. They're just that good.
You've been on the Elite Series a long time. I've had anglers say this to me, and this sounds shocking when you compare what they're saying, because you look at our fields in the past, but I've had anglers tell me that it's as tough to make a check on the Elite Series now as it's ever been, if not tougher.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. When we had the split, it was tough before the split, but when
Yeah.
we had the split and everybody's like, well, there's nobody fishing on that tour. Bull. After them guys got their teeth cut, I mean, them some guys, they knew how to take your money. I don't care where they come from or what their last name is. Them some guns like to take your money, and they could do it and knew how to do it.
Where do you think this? Where are you on that whole? Like, I mean, you seem to make no excuses. I mean, if you don't catch them, you don't catch them. Like, are you a
Right.
pro technology guy? Are you for it, against it? Where do you sit on this debate? The great debate.
I'm old enough that I could, when I first started fishing tournaments, I was going out to Rodman, and I was fishing with my mentor, Manuel Spencer, and there was only a couple places out there that you could catch quality fish at that time. And there was two guys, they beat our brains out for the first 3 tournaments. And I'm like, what do we, why can't we run through there? He said, they've got a GPS. I'm like, what? I had a flasher. That was it. And now to see what it's turned into now. And I can remember when side imaging come out, and all the guys here were like, man, that's cheating, man. All they did was see me over there, and now they know exactly what I'm throwing at. I had brush over there that nobody knew about. And, and there's still guys that are like, man, that side imaging's killing this river, I foresee that what we've got now in 5 years is just going to be like 2D,
Yeah.
And the fish, it's just like when the Alabama rig come out. They're like, man, they're going to catch every fish in the lake. It's going to kill the population and this and that. You don't hear anybody saying that that's all I throw, because they got used to it and they got conditioned to it. And I feel like the same thing's going to happen with what we got now. Is it overkill that guys have got 14 units on the front bow of their boat and they only got 2 places to put their feet? That's a little overkill, because, a lot of kids coming up that want to fish really can't afford to do that, and I don't know, more power to you is all I can tell you, because I'm going to beat your brains out whenever I can.
I think
I'm not going to stare at the screen all day, I promise you.
Yeah. I think this tournament was a good example of, like, a lot of people are like, well, you can schedule around it. This tournament was a prime example of, you can't schedule around. Like, this tournament, everybody would have thought would have been a lot more forward facing than what we saw.
I did too.
And it definitely wasn't.
No, for whatever reason, those fish were not set up the way a lot of guys were planning on them to be. They were a lot shallower, and I mean, look at what John Cox did. I mean,
yeah,
they were in the back, and a lot of guys caught them that way. I tried, but it just didn't work for me in the backs. I found them out there on that flat, and was going to stick with that.
Pretty cool moment happened on Championship Sunday. Your family came. I mean, not only that your family came out to see it, but they came out in a pontoon boat to cheer you on.
Oh yeah.
Did that add to the nerves, or was that the fire that you needed to push you on for the last few hours?
No, I was sure glad that they were there to see me catch that last one for sure. When my buddy showed up, he goes, "We're gonna go rent a pontoon boat." I said, "Y'all come on." I said, "It's gonna be exciting." And he said, "We can't get it till 9 o'clock." I said, "Well, the party hopefully will be over by then." But he said, "But we're coming, and hell's coming with us." And I said, "Whatever you do, don't put that son of a gun in my name, that pontoon boat you're renting," because I knew who was driving it.
It was very cool to see them out there. And you also won on Fox, on Network Fox. I don't know if you've let that, most of the time that's reserved for the Classic. First Elite ever won on Network Fox, and your winning fish was caught there. That's got to be pretty badge of honor there.
whatever I can do for my sponsors, and hopefully Gravely got to see it and got some good coverage, and that's what we're there for. That's, they've been with me for 3 or 4 years, and hadn't ever required a whole lot, hadn't been very demanding at all, and just good, easy people to work with. Great friends.
How'd you celebrate Sunday evening?
Oh man, we went to the steakhouse and I ate a big old steak and drank me about 6 Coronas, and buddy, I was blitzed. Let me tell you, it didn't take many because I hadn't had much to eat in 4 days.
It's funny because on stage, me and you had joked, and you told me how you were in a party that night, and
yeah.
I mean, as often as you see it, everybody's got the greatest intentions to party, but you hit a wall at some point.
Oh, yeah. It was like a brick wall when I ate that steak, man. I was done. Bone-in ribeye got me way past overdue to go to sleep. That's for sure.
Do you think your son's going to end up here one day? I kind of joked with him on stage when he was holding the trophy. I was like, hey, wait, you got to get your own.
Yeah. He's really good, man. He's got a burn, and he likes it. He's fishing here locally in fishing college. I'm not going to push it. If he wants it and he wants, more power to him. I've got him a boat and helped him the best I can. And he's better with electronics than I am. I'll be straight up and honest with you. And I've showed him what I know, and he's hammering these boys on the river pretty good. Him and his college partner won one of the biggest tournaments in the Southeast a couple of weeks ago. They had 28 pounds here on the river. So they're a force to reckon with, and I don't see that changing. Him and his partner both are really excellent fishermen.
Wow. What you got anything? I mean, I know you probably got some bills to pay off. I mean, it hasn't been a great season, but is there anything that you're like, well, hey, when I win one of these, I'm going to buy that, or I'm going to pay for that?
No, I was telling my wife, I said, we've been, trying to put money back for savings and putting them in CDs and stuff like that. I said, let's just go ahead and do that. And my daughter is getting married in less than a month. So This couldn't have come at a better time, I can tell you. Because if you've never done a wedding, they're not cheap.
No, they're not getting any cheaper either.
No, they're not. Let me tell you.
Well, the timing is everything, and I'm glad it came along now. And Bernie, your roommate, you've mentioned him a few times, Bernie Schultz. I mean, he's got to get one of these times. You know what I mean? Like, he's been around but I mean, what's the most frustrating thing about our sport that, like, no matter how many times somebody tells you your time's coming or whatever, like like there's no control. Like, it literally, like, I feel like golfers, if your swing's off, you can go to a swing coach and do whatever. Fishing is so all over the place.
There's so many factors, man. It's just, you lose one, the wind blows out of a different direction and you can't fish your area. It's just, there's just so many elements that can take you out of it. And to get 4 days in a row where, like mine, it was just meant to be, because nobody tried to come there. I don't feel like any of the locals fished on it after I left it. I mean, it was, when it's your turn, there's just, you can't do any wrong. And I've heard guys say that, and I've seen it, but I sure didn't think we were going to win Wheeler. I can tell you that.
How, and where's the trophy at now?
It's sitting in the seat of my truck, because I'm fixing to take it down to the local restaurant, and I'm going to set it right in the middle, and we're going to have a big time.
Very cool.
I'm going to take it to a place where I used to work this week, and then I'm going to go eat breakfast at the place I used to eat breakfast before tournaments, and we're going to drag it all over Putnam County for the week's end.
That's very cool. Yeah. Very cool. I was amazed about the amount of people that in the comments and bass and stuff, earlier in the week when you were, you're laden or you're having a good tournament at that point, and the amount of people that, like, Palatka, sure, you're the Prince of Palatka. It's where you're from.
Right.
Your last name's Prince. But you
Right.
really freaking are the Prince of Palatka. Like, you have an incredible following.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was born and raised right here, and with the business that I'm in, I went to school here. You know, all the guys that own local businesses, I was basically friends with in school. So, you know, it just a bunch of wonderful people and great community to live in. And I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Well, you're going to be living there with a blue trophy for, and hopefully more by the sounds of things. You're going to win Smith, right?
That's right.
I mean, a roll has to start somewhere.
They got to beat me, you know?
Yeah.
They got to beat me. I'm the champ. They got to take me out.
You definitely are. You are the champ, and a very deserving champion, dude. I don't know what it was, but I just think that you're just, I mean, I hate the term one of the good guys because it gets overused. It's like GOAT, the two most overused, like everybody's the GOAT of something, right? Nowadays.
Right.
But you truly are, you know, like I don't remember a time when, like I look back to Bill Lowen's win. I look back to Rick Clunn's win the first time in St. John's River, John Murray's win, like that. Those are the ones that stand out to me as when the entire elites, like the amount of texts I was getting throughout the day that they're like, I mean, those demons that were in your head when you knew that, hey, I'm opening a door here, they were in everybody else's head because they were all like, you know, the amount of text throughout the day that he's got to catch him. He's got to, and not that everybody loves Ray. Ray Hanselman's a great man.
Yep. I told him on stage, I hate you were the one that I beat, but you know, you got to beat everybody to win. So,
yeah, it was
him, you know, for him to have the day he had, you know, I've been there and had those days like that. And, you know, he did everything he could. And I mean, he is an awesome fisherman. I mean, if you look at his track record, even before he made the elites, I mean, he's an awesome fisherman and I like him. He's quiet. You wouldn't even know he was there if you didn't speak to him. You know, he's that kind of person. And just an all around good guy, good down to earth, you know, and I met his family. I told him, I said, if you beat me Sunday, if you beat me today, you're taking me to Texas on a deer hunt. So maybe he held back a couple pounds, you know, who knows?
You think he's trying to save those deer for himself, huh?
Yeah.
Are you a superstitious guy?
Yeah, you see this hat here. It's one of this, and then I told my cameraman the first day of practice, I lost my lucky pocket knife. So I'm not looking for that lucky pocket knife no more because I never found it.
Turns out it wasn't lucky.
I said, I'm not fishing with a pocket knife no more.
Are fishermen the most insane of any sport? Like, I mean, I think everybody's a little superstitious, but anglers, even if they tell you they're not superstitious, we're all nuts. Like,
hey man, if I get gas at a gas pump and I catch them good the first day, I will set in line behind 10 cars to pull up to that same pump. If there's 4 of them empty over there, I mean, that's just, I mean, and hey, if I go in the store and I buy a sausage biscuit and I check out at this register, I'm doing the same routine the next day. And just like my wife told you on the stage, I left her that morning. We left her the rest of the week. She had to find her way to the ramp. She did not ride with Dad.
So she's not coming to take off ever again.
Nope, never again.
So I mean, maybe it was good luck, and good luck for her. She doesn't have to get up as early anymore.
Yeah, exactly. She gets to sleep in. She said it was nice. You know, she took it like a champ. She called me. She says, "I've never been left before." You know, and she was giggling, so that was a good thing. Normally, it's the other way around, but
yeah. When she told the story in the stage, there was an awkward moment where, because I don't think everybody initially got what she was saying. She was saying, on the first day of this tournament, he left me, and I was like, oh my gosh, they broke up and she's up here on Sunday.
Yeah, $100,000 should come back.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah. No, it was just that when I got up that morning, I didn't set the alarm because we were staying like 45 minutes away. And I set the alarm where I figured, I had an hour to get there and, 30 minutes, whatever. And when I got up, I got dressed, brushed my teeth, fixed me a cup of coffee, and I was gone. And when I went in and got dressed and I told her, I said, I'll see you. She never rolled over, never opened her eyes or anything. So I'm like, well, we really didn't discuss it the night before. So I just figured she was sleeping in. Well, I got about halfway to the ramp. She goes, where are you at? I said, I'm about halfway. She says, well, I've never been left before. It was good. It was all good.
No, it worked out wonderful.
Yeah.
When did this, I don't think I've ever asked you this. When did this Bassmaster dream start for you? Like, do you remember how old you were? Like, was there a moment where you're like, man, I want to do that?
Well, growing up as a kid, I mean, my mom tells stories. She'll tell you a story. I'm walking around in my underwear with cowboy boots on at a stick with a piece of string with a shark hook on it, trying to catch minnows out of the ditch. And, whenever I was a kid and I caught a brim, I couldn't go to sleep without it. So she had to wrap it up in a towel and let me go to sleep with it and take it away from me after I fell asleep. But, I mean, I was always hunting and fishing, whenever I was growing up. And my uncle, he was a guide, and I just idolized him. He had the greatest job, ever. And then I rodeoed all through high school, so I kind of got away from the fishing thing. And then about the time I graduated, I started hanging out with a buddy of mine. His dad was Manuel Spencer, which fished some of the BASS events, qualified for Classic 2 or 3 times. And when I started fishing tournaments, I'm like, man, I can do my passion and also do it competitively. That's when that fire started, and I was 19, 20 years old, which is a lot later than these guys start nowadays. But that's, I bought a boat right after I got out of school, and then bought another one and another one, and just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And just started fishing locally, won a couple of tournaments here, and then started fishing weekend series around the state of Florida, and then started fishing the opens. And when I qualified, I was hanging out with Terry Scroggins, and I'm like, I'm working for myself, and my wife and I beat it around. We're like, let's try it. I didn't fish the opens to qualify like these guys are doing now, because I didn't really, I had never really tried. I'd never caught a smallmouth when I qualified for the elites.
Wow.
Never. I can tell you story after story about that. But I mean, the first real smallmouth tournament that I fished, I started between Ott Defoe and Aaron Martins, and they beat me down. You hear me? They were catching them every cast, and I'm throwing at the same rock pile and never caught one. I mean, This was the one that Jonathan VanDam won
on Green Bay.
On Green Bay. And Aaron Martins was catching them every cast. Ott Defoe was on the inside catching them every cast. Here comes Terry Scroggins, come over and shut down. He starts catching them. And I'm like, man, what am I doing wrong? I'm up there throwing a drop shot with a robo worm on it. And I'm like, man, what are they throwing? Well, Terry catches a 4-pound smallmouth, and it comes up by the boat, and it throws this little tiny do-nothing bait, and it actually throws it out of the fish's mouth and into my boat. And I'm like, well, that's what I need to be throwing. I hooked it up and caught a limit off that one bait. And I said, I will be back tomorrow. Yes. And I'm like, now I see how, I mean, a robo worm just does not get it done on the Great Lakes or any of the smallmouth, like I thought.
When crazy stuff like that happens, like a fish jumps and the bait lands in your boat, like, is that just really good luck, or
no,
what do you write that off to?
That's a gift from God's what that is.
Here's your sign.
They're rubbing. He's like, man, what are you doing, man? You know what you're doing? Laughing at me, You know how he laugh at you, He's just picking at you. But it was that the smallmouth thing was a learning curve for me. I was always good with spinning tackle. I grew up doing that, skipping docks and stuff like that, and fishing with light line. that didn't bother me. It was just I had to learn the new type style baits or whatever, the different feed that they fed on versus what I'm used to catching largemouth with.
Yeah. That's a big learning curve, and it's not a good idea to start
$5,000 a pop. That's a pretty expensive curve.
It's like my buddies. I don't know how to play poker. I've never played poker in my life. Just didn't grow up playing cards. And I got buddies who play poker, and they're like, "Yeah, come on over Tuesday night. We'll show you how to play poker." And I'm like, "I don't want to learn with
money.
you guys."
Come on.
And learning smallmouth in between Aaron Martin's and Ott Defoe is probably not a very hospitable environment.
That was rough because Aaron caught them really, really good, and so did Ott. And I'm literally throwing at the same rock pile, and they're catching one every cast, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And like I say, when that bait flew out of that fish's mouth, landed in the boat, I'm like, aha.
Here's your sign.
Here's my sign. Yeah.
You mentioned, and I just want to follow up on this because I didn't know this. You did rodeo through high school. Like when you say you did rodeo, like do you do all the events, or are you a bull rider, or how does it work? My
sister and my dad, he really enjoyed horses and stuff like that. And when after my sister graduated, I started a junior rodeo and then high school rodeo, and I calf roped, I team roped, I steer wrestled, and I also rode cutting horses. I did that all through high school, and 2 or 3 years after I graduated, I was actually breaking horses for people and training horses and showing them all over. I went all over Waco, Texas, Colorado, all over, hauling horses all over the country. Yeah.
Sometimes fishing gets compared to rodeo. Which do you think is tougher?
Well, I can tell you, rodeo is just as mental game as fishing. I mean, you had to have your mind right because that they didn't batter whenever you backed in the box to rope a calf. The guy that had just tied one in 8 seconds, he's back there going, "Hey, this calf right here kicks really bad." So be he wanted to get in your head just as bad, and it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same smack talk on the rodeo side as it is on the fishing.
Yeah, just worse long-term injuries. I mean, in fishing, I'm sure these guys 20 years from now will have really bad necks from looking down, but it's not quite like what happens when you get kicked by a calf. Yeah,
I knock on wood, I've never had any serious injuries, but really? I know some, not in rodeo, and I was young and dumb and had no fear back then, but now I'm kind of paying for some of that abuse that I did on my elbows and shoulders and wrists and stuff like that, because roping's really rough on your wrists and elbows, and just like casting every day, it's I'm paying for some of that for sure, because I had tennis elbow to start the season. I couldn't even pick up a glass of water with my left arm.
Ouch.
And I finally went to Miles Therapy here in Palatka and for about 3 weeks, and he showed me some exercises to do and icing it and putting heat to it. I finally got rid of it. It's not like I didn't even have it now. So.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yep.
Well, I know you're busy. I know you just got home and literally passed out and woke up just to do this, and I appreciate it.
No, it's all good.
I got one more question for you, though.
Yeah.
This all started as a little kid running around in cowboy boots and his underwear. When's the last time you've run around in cowboy boots in your underwear?
I might go out there and do it right now.
All right. I don't want pictures, but enjoy yourself. I mean, a trophy shot.
Cowboy boots and underwear. That's right. That's it. Hey.
No. Congratulations, dude. And I do appreciate you making time to jump on here quickly. And
this is for the world, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. And it was an honor to be part of it. And we're just getting started. I'll see you Sunday afternoon at Smith Lake for another one of these W's.
I'm ready. I'll see you then.
The Prince of Palatka, the one and only Cliff Prince. Tough not to love Cliff Prince. and his entire family. Congrats to the Prince of Palatka. Now we're stuck envisioning images of him running around the house in cowboy boots and underwear with his trophy. And I wish I had the kind of budget to make magic happen. I mean, what a thumbnail it would be. Cliff Prince just laid back, big stogie in his mouth, cowboy boots, underwear, Elite Series trophy across his chest. I mean, I don't know if that's horrifying or wonderful. Depends on who you ask, I guess. Speaking of wonderful, something wonderful that happened last week was KVD getting big ups on the Pat McAfee Show. And obviously, I have talked about that a little bit. But rather than me talk about it, maybe we should have a look at what it was. And we're probably going to have to put a bunch of beeps over this so that we don't get demonetized. But ignore the beeps and focus on what you're seeing. You're seeing the sport of professional bass fishing get 6 minutes that I'm referring to as the most electrifying 6 minutes in sport fishing on one of the biggest shows there is, one of the biggest mainstream sports shows. And I think that's pretty freaking cool. And I'm interested to see what KVD thinks about it too. So let's look at it first, and then we'll be joined by the one and only Kevin VanDam.
Some people are really good anglers. Who's that guy?
Kevin VanDam. Yeah, unfortunately, we lost a great one. Kevin VanDam. Actually, it's not arguably. He is the greatest fucking fisherman of all time, bar none. Anyone who follows angling or pro bass fishing knows that Kevin VanDam is the GOAT of all goats.
Roland Martin. What about that bleach blonde guy that was always on TV?
Yeah, wrong.
Not right now. Okay.
Wrong. Okay, he ain't no fucking Kevin VanDam.
Don't do this right now.
And even if he was alive, we're saying Kevin VanDam's catching more fucking fish than he is.
Exactly.
That's what people are saying.
Won more, pro bass fishing titles than any other guy. Any other guy got even close to sniffing. He's putting the rod and the reel down. He's retiring.
Hell of a run, Mr. VanDam.
Gonna miss you, Kev.
Oh, so he's not dead.
No.
His fishing career.
Fishing career is.
You don't retire from fishing
professionally.
Yeah, he'll pick up the rod when he's on the
body
pond.
Body just doesn't have it anymore.
There he is.
Boom.
Is
that Ian Rappaport?
He's just sick of the 4 a.m. wake-ups.
Yeah.
Sick of the 4 a.m. wake-ups on the boat, trying to find the hole, doing what he's got to do. He's already won enough. The guy's a GOAT.
Exactly. These pieces of shit who are loading the fish with,
Ohio people.
Yeah, exactly. He's done with that.
This new generation of anglers, he
can't do it. He won't do
entitled.
it.
They're entitled.
Yep. Makes sense.
Congrats on a hell of a fishing career, Kevin VanDam.
I miss you, Kev.
He might be back. I think he'll be back.
You think he's going to get called back to the game?
His body's going to feel good. Like 8 months later, his body's going to feel great. Limbs feel good. Joints feel good. He's like, oh, I'm coming back, and it's going to just take over the world.
What if he walks out to his pond one day? What if he walks out there one day? What's so funny, AJ?
Hold on.
Show a little fucking respect, will you?
I do. That's what I'm saying. I love all the sponsors.
That's what the big
he's the fucking best of all time. What's going to happen is, him, the kids, grandkids, maybe whatever the case, going to walk out to the pond one day. He's going to throw that son of a bitch out there. He's going to do a new move with his hand, and it's going to make that fucker dance in a different way. He's going to be like, wait a minute.
Hold on.
I do still got it, don't I?
Found something here.
I do. I still.
Change the game.
Wait a minute. Oh, no. Then like Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Like Tiger Woods.
Tom.
Like Tom Brady coming back out of retirement saying, let me see. And then he goes on a run with the new move. And then all of a sudden, we got 2 Hall of Fame careers out of Mr. VanDam. The angling community can only dream that we get to see him back in a boat in competition again. Ain't that right, Ty?
Absolutely. I would like to see him to go, big game hunting, maybe go out on the ocean and catch like
deep sea.
Exactly. Deep sea fish and catch like a fucking 18,000-pound marlin or tuna or something like that, because I know he can do it. It's just whether or not he actually wants to.
Here's some VanDam highlights. Obviously, whenever he was showing the fish, everybody knew what was happening. That was the biggest fucking fish in town.
Exactly.
He knew where all the holes were somehow, even if he had never been to a place before. He had a sense for it, an eye for it. As a kid, he was able to pull these fucking fish out of ponds at a level that nobody could ever understand. And his moxie, certainly through the roof. He was proud of the work he put in. You put him above some water that he couldn't see through, he put some polarized sunglasses on, he'd find the biggest fucking fish you got.
Exactly.
Every single bass knew that when VanDam came to town, there was a good chance they were leaving their home forever. Hey, see ya, babe. What's going on? VanDam's fishing on our fucking pond. I'm donezo. Because I know it's a bait. I know it's a lure, but I just can't help myself. And VanDam, boom, snatches that son of a bitch right out from its home. That's what VanDam fishing is all about.
Exactly. And you see, I mean, when you got guys like Dave Mercer, other goats who are kind of just bowing
Zona.
down at the knees of Kevin VanDam, it makes sense. And you notice some of that stuff. Before Kevin VanDam, you didn't have all that fucking pyro and shit going on when, guys would win bass fishing titles. And then they said, listen, we got a fucking superstar here, okay? Let's up the production value. Let's get some of this shit going. Let's drop the confetti. Let's bring in the American
Talking
flag.
eight-time angler of the year.
Yeah, and they don't chant MVP over there. They chant KVD, 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 which means MVF,
Right, yeah.
which is the most valuable fisherman.
Exactly.
Because that's what Kevin VanDam has been to the community.
Exactly.
And, the shit he was doing was just way, way before his time.
It was.
And he's still evolving to this day, AJ. So it's a bad day to be a fish when VanDam comes to town.
It's hell of a run. Hell of a run from VanDam, I guess. Is he related to Jean-Claude at all? Do we know?
We don't know.
His
chance.
cousins.
Rob VanDam, potentially.
Doesn't.
I believe him and RVD are brothers.
Nice. Congrats.
So
Just a lot of elite.
a lot of
performers in that
argument
family.
between who's the greatest.
The GOAT,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. In the family, obviously it's Kev, but RVD, he gave him a run for his money there for a while.
Yeah, to Zito's point, I do think it got to a point where he did do the Kevin VanDam after every fish he caught.
Yep.
The other people on the boat were like, you don't have to do it every fish. He's like, well, now it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And they didn't always get along because RVD said a couple times, like conflicting energies. I won't go on any further because I'll just do the whole thing.
hey,
But
Rob, you're a beast.
he is.
Love you.
Rob,
Yep.
you're a beast. So is Kevin.
Yeah.
That's like with Matt Rule saying, I don't want any teams that have Dakota in their name. If I'm going into a fight, I don't want any fucking Van Dams on the other side.
No.
Okay? I just don't want it.
Van anything. Really.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. Rude Van Nistelrooy.
Boom. Yeah. Don't want that.
Van Persie.
Well said.
Don't want
Van
that.
Persie.
Yeah,
Robin.
Van Jefferson.
Yeah.
All right. That seems like that's good.
That was not on my bingo card for
Sure?
today.
You sure?
I feel like we just did some real good stuff there.
Yeah.
I've
Got
watched-
range.
Thank you. And sport, which I'm appreciative.
What started as a segment when they were talking about Warren Sapp and Deion Sanders loving to fish rolled into something unexpected, unbelievable. Basically, 6 minutes of them telling the world about how big of a badass you are, KVD. How did that feel?
It was pretty cool. I've watched this show. This time of the year, I don't watch that much TV, but I've watched this show a bunch of times. Obviously, I'm a huge football fan, so in football season, it's the best show out there. And I started, I got some messages that like, holy crap, dude, you were just on the Pat McAfee show, and I'm like, I'm like, crap, dude, it's unbelievable. So no, it was cool.
Very cool. And obviously they had a little fun with it, but and thank you, because somehow, and really probably honestly, basically just because my face was on the screen at that time, I'm sure that's why it had to be a few seconds later, but I appreciate, I will hold on to your coattails to achieve. Well, really, I've done that my whole career, Kevin.
Yeah, well, they obviously pulled, when you came up for the party that my wife threw and all that and everything that Brandon had produced for around that I didn't know anything of at the time, and I just thought it was so good, so we put it on our on our social media, and they pulled all of that off there. But still, they're smart enough to take a look around, but no, it was really cool.
So a few things that happened during that 6 minutes, which I'm referring to as the most electrifying 6 minutes in sport fishing. They predicted that you'll discover a new move on your pond.
Right.
And just like Brady and just like Jordan, you will make a comeback. Have you been discovering new moves on the pond?
I haven't really been on my pond doing that, but I have, we've got 2 10-pounders on the new show already this year, so yeah, I don't know, man. That last tournament was definitely, it's like, doggone, I knew I had a chance there, and you always want to win another one, right? So I get it. I understand why these guys think about it for sure, but I haven't dialed up any of the leagues asking for a spot back yet. That's what you're asking.
But you're saying there's a chance.
I would never ever. You're a smart guy, right? Nobody would ever say never. But no, I'm having fun what I'm doing so far. But I can't see it. But I never expected it. Especially you've seen it with lots of you see it with lots of athletes. But the Brady really surprised me. That one surprised me.
Yeah. You're a lot like Brady, so I mean, might as well. I mean, I'm all for having a roast for you. I don't think you have enough material, but we can have a KVD roast. Would you do that, dude? Did you see the Brady roast?
I haven't watched it yet. I've seen some clips from it. I haven't seen the whole thing. It's because the same thing, I haven't had time to. There's several things that are out there, really well produced pieces, and that I really want to watch, and I just haven't had time to absolutely sit down and do. I don't sit down and watch TV. I mean, I check a few things on my phone, but I'm busy. Like, this isn't retirement, man. I'm like there's a million things to do. It seems like every day, all day long.
Busier now, or just the exact same as it was in the past?
I think in a lot of ways I'm busier because there's a lot more to it. It's not, when you're doing a television show, it's not just a television show. It's everything that goes around it and all the other content and all the same things that I had to do for sponsors and your partners before. And then, you could kind of get a hall pass because it's like, hey, this week I'm focused on the tournament, or, I'm prepping for that. Well, I don't have that ability to say that anymore. So, between making sure the lawn's mowed and everything else that you have to do for my everyday job, which is more than it's more than a job that both Sherry and I, it's more than 2 full-time jobs, and there's just 2 of us. So, we're doing the best we can on it, but yeah,
talking to you, it feels like, and not that you were, I mean, I never imagined that you would retire before you announced that you were retiring, but it does feel like there's like a new energy in you. Like when you get talking about shoots and different kinds of shots and stuff, like, do you feel that?
No doubt. It's all up to us now, I mean, when I'm on a shoot, and we're looking at trying to do, things different. Brandon's, he's very creative too, comes up with a lot of unique ideas, but I try to as well. You see what's out there and, just trying to do it and make it new and fresh. I mean, to me, one of the things that I loved about my job as a professional tournament angler was the newness always. Everybody, even if I've been to Guntersville 7 times, it's different every time you go, and it's the same kind of thing in filming content, whether it's a television show or you're doing tips or YouTube videos or whatever. It's like, man, it's different every time. I fished with a couple of really cool guys yesterday. So I donated a trip to the Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation, which is a great conservation organization that works at the federal and state level with legislators to, help dictate legislation for outdoorsmen, for fishing and hunting and clean water and, everything from, the Everglades to, a lake cleanup to whatever it is. And they do a fantastic job. And so I donated this trip. And while I was at that function, I met this guy there that's from Michigan, really neat guy that does a lot for conservation and for veterans. He's very successful entrepreneur, sold his company a handful of years ago. And he just loves to, take a lot of our veterans, a lot of Navy SEALs on trips and things like that. Well, at the end of the night, he bought this smallmouth trip and he lives in Michigan, but he's a big, he hasn't done it a lot. So I took him and a real good friend of his, which is one of the most decorated Navy SEALs in history, a guy named Lou Lastra.
Wow.
amazing individual. You know, he's retired Master Chief SEAL. And so I took those guys out smallmouth fishing on the Great Lakes. And, you know, it was kind of windy. It was a little, of course, I'm with a Navy SEAL, so you think he'd be fine. But his sea legs were struggled a little bit with it. And I'm like, I thought it was kind of interesting. He's like, yeah, I can still get seasick. And I'm like, gosh, so can I, I mean, even though I've done it a lot of years, but, we had a great time. And so for me, a lot of what I'm doing is, you film a TV show. I've got some cool guests and things like that, but I'm also still, you're still in the mix of meeting people like that. And just what an honor it was for me to be able to show those guys what my world's like, and, to give them an experience that, I mean, he lives on Lake Havasu and loves to catch smallmouth there, and it's clear water, but it's just, obviously it's different techniques and baits and things like that. So we had a fun time talking, but they also, learned a lot, from them in the future. But no, so that's the kind of stuff. So, hopefully I can take Pat fishing too. After that, I told him, I said, he's got a spot in my boat anytime. And he messaged back and said he sucked at fishing. And so I want to put that together. I mean, that to me, it's really unique that I have an opportunity to bring people into our world. Like, I mean, you live it every day. I mean, last week was a truly special week on the Elite Series to watch what happened and how that transpired with Cliff Prince. I mean, Cliff's one of the good guys. I've known him, his whole career. I remember when he first started, and it's not been easy. So to see him have a dominant event like that, that was super cool. I mean, there's still, with the negativity in the world and all the things about every time it comes up to forward facing sonar and that, it's still cool to see these great things happen like this. I mean, just like what happened to me the day of that party, for you and Sarah to show up, and, Davey and Natalie and Mark and Karen there, and, Deb and Louie were there, and a lot of other great friends too. I mean, that was a really special,
very cool
day for me. But also, I mean, all of a sudden, I'm on, being talked about as, one of the best ever on arguably the greatest sports show there is.
It is
on television. I think, I mean, those guys are, they're real, right? It's felt the way that it is. And so maybe I'll meet them for a Lions training camp, Lake St. Clair, beat down, smash down, something like that. How about that? Would you show up for that?
But that was actually my next question. If this does happen, can I show up I'll get a megaphone a la the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, and be your personal hype man and just yell? Like, you can just say things like, we're going to throw a spinnerbait, and I'll just yell, he said a spinnerbait. Can I be your hype man?
Yeah, I'd say you're pretty dang good at it. When you introduced me at the party, it's like, damn, I'm gonna miss that right there. I mean, nobody does it better, man.
Wow. I appreciate that, but I'll come to your house and yell in your face anytime you want. But I appreciate that.
You're the king, man. You're the best of the best of the best at what you do, for sure. So I got one more thing for you, though.
What?
Did you hit 400,000 subscribers on YouTube?
We're just about to. I mean, by this time, maybe we have, but it's freaking happening, Kevin. I don't know why, but it is. I'm thankful.
Can you send like 3 or 4 my way?
I will. I mean, I will. I mean, hopefully they're on their way right now. But I got to ask you something. A follow-up question is something you said. Have you ever really been seasick?
I have. The place that I've seen the most people get seasick is Lake Erie in Buffalo, the tournaments we've had there. I've had a couple of marshals that got really, really, really sick there. And you go out there when it gets real rough and break off and have to retie a drop shot, sit down in the boat. Boy, it don't take long till you need to be staring at the shoreline, or for me anyways. But bass fishing, I'm always so focused that I don't, I mean, I've fished in some crazy rough conditions, unbelievable. But you go out, saltwater fishing or salmon fishing or something like that, where I'm not busy focused on, that's when it can be, it can be trouble. I can be honest and say I have never thrown up from being seasick ever in my life, but I have felt pretty dang queasy, multiple times, in really rough conditions. I mean, I've been out in the ocean when you shouldn't be out there, and the whole boat, everybody else was sick, and I didn't feel the greatest, but I was able to make it through.
Yeah, well, I mean, my dad actually, when I was a teenager, my dad thought, he got into sailing and thought, oh, this will be a way for us to bond. And on a sailboat, all I did is puke. I mean, it wasn't a bass boat. You're focused. You're doing it is a different thing. But the one thing about seasickness is when you have to ask somebody, "Am I seasick?" You already are. It's too late.
It's over.
Last question. I'll let you get back to work, KVD. I know you're busy with everything. Is it still a bad day to be a fish when VanDam comes to town? As Pat McAfee said.
Pat is exactly spot on, man. I love it, man. It's just like that trip that I took. I really wanted these guys to have a good time and catch them, but then every now and then it's like, gosh dang, I got to pull on one more. I mean, my favorite thing in the whole world is smallmouth fishing on the Great Lakes, and it don't matter if it's pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, summer, fall, whatever, winter. I love doing that. And it never gets old. I don't have it right in my backyard. I mean, like, I can't walk out to my pond and do that. So if I've got to drive to St. Clair, or if I drive, up to Traverse City, or if I go to New York, I want to get all of it when I get there. I just, you're going to have hot apple pie, and I'm going to make sure that I got ice cream and whipped cream on top of it. That's what I want to do when I get to the lake. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And it was funny. The guys that I was with yesterday, they're like, it was rough too. Like, it was blowing like 20, 25 on Lake Michigan. And he's like, man, you absolutely just love this, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I said, the wind don't bother me. It's like fishing in the rain. Fish are already wet. It don't matter, man. So it's a little bit annoying. You just got to use it to your advantage. So I like challenging conditions, and to me, it's not catching them that is the fun part, but it's figuring out that puzzle, and that's why I love tournament fishing so much.
Well, you had me at hot apple pie.
Yeah.
The one and only Kevin VanDam. Let's go fishing with McAfee soon. I'm just going to yell ridiculous stuff.
We're going to set it up. We'll get it set up.
Boom. What a show, what a week, and what a life. Enjoy being, and as always, Bob Cobb, take it away.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, because Bob Cobb of the Bassmasters told you to. You hear?